Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Week 1 preseason takeaways for fantasy football in 2021. Inside today's video, I'm going to be talking about every single game that was played this weekend for Week 1 of preseason and discuss how it relates and affects fantasy football for 2021. Now, some of these games have a lot of takeaways in them. Other games, really nothing happened of fantasy relevance, but I will try to make at least 1 point in every single game. We're going to be talking about every single game in this video. But before we get on into it, I'd like to ask, if you are new to the YouTube channel and you do end up enjoying this video, to please make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Not only is it free, me and the guys at the Awesemo Fantasy Football channel put out content every single day to help you guys win your fantasy football championship this season. So please make sure that if you do enjoy, to hit that subscribe button down below. And if you don't follow me on Twitter, please do at Notorious FNTSY. I tweet all types of stuff about fantasy football during these games, especially. I tweet out a lot of my thoughts during the game, so make sure that you guys follow me on there. So without further ado, let's get on into it. The first game to be talking about today is the Washington football team at the New England Patriots, and the biggest takeaway from this one is that there is likely going to be a running back by committee for the Washington football team. Now, is this a bad thing? No, because this is probably what we should have seen coming. This is what was happening a lot last season with J.D. McKissic and with Antonio Gibson. Now, we did see a couple of games last year with Peyton Barber involved, and I kind of expected that, honestly, to be the exact same thing that was going to happen in 2021. But I think that us as people who play fantasy, us who talk about fantasy, we got a little bit infatuated with the fact that Antonio Gibson is such a solid player. Now, again, can Antonio Gibson be good for fantasy football? 100%, but just do not draft him right now, in my opinion, inside of the first round. I don't want anyone to overreact to 1 week of preseason, but I do believe that this was probably what was going to happen anyways, so seeing it in preseason, seeing it actually occur on the field, makes me believe that we are going to be seeing a decent amount of McKissic this year, and we're not going to be just seeing a workhorse role for Antonio Gibson. Again, you can still draft Antonio Gibson in the second round, but definitely pump the brakes inside the first round. We can see a carry split of Peyton Barber having 6 carries for 20 yards, Antonio Gibson 5 for 15, J.D. McKissic 1 for 2, but J.D. McKissic is definitely much more of a pass-catching running back receptions. Gibson 2 for 14 on 13 targets, McKissic 1 for 3 yards on 1 target, and Peyton Barber 1 for 3 yards on 1 target. So again, no super overreaction here. I just feel as though this team is going to be using a lot of running backs. Gibson is still a very useful fantasy asset, but just understand that other running backs are going to be touching the ball and that he is not going to be a real workhorse. Fitzpatrick also was feeding Terry McLaurin in this game. Should not surprise you either. Fitzpatrick loves to lock in on that focal point in the offense. We saw it with Devontae Parker in 2019. I believe we are going to see that this year in 2021 with Terry McLaurin. Fitz throws the ball 8 times, 3 of those to Terry McLaurin for 2 catches and 25 yards. They looked very locked in together. For the Patriots, we see Cam Newton look about I didn't really expect too much from Cam Newton. 4 of 7 for 49 yards. Mac Jones, Mystic Mac debut, 13 of 19 for 87 yards. Mac Jones looks good. Will he be able to cement himself as the starter by the start of the season? Probably not. I highly doubt that. I really doubt that he will become the guy past Cam Newton instantly. And you know what I just fucking realized that's a bit crazy just looking at the screen? Cam is Mac backwards. Very interesting. Very interesting. That has nothing to do with anything. I know that has nothing to do with fantasy football, but I just noticed that when I was reading their names, and that's kind of crazy. So I think Cam Newton will be the starter, but don't be surprised if Cam starts playing bad, or if Mac Jones looks really, really good in the next couple of preseason games, then maybe we could actually see Mac Jones take over, but I don't really think so. The rushing game was on fire for the New England Patriots. Ramondre Stevenson, 10 for 127 and 2 touchdowns. Sony Michel, 6 for 26, and Damian Harris, 4 for 17. Now, I saw a lot of people on Twitter overreacting to Ramondre Stevenson's performance, 10 for 127 and 2 touchdowns. Sure, that is very good. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that having 10 touches for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns, that means the guy's a fucking bum or something. No, but I still believe that this is Damian Harris's backfield. Stevenson did this up against very bad defenders. He's playing up against like the worst team on defense that the other team, the Washington football team, can roll out there. So it is impressive. It might show you that, hey, maybe they will end up cutting Sony Michel, but I don't believe that Stevenson has any chance to really take over from Damian Harris unless there is an injury. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, if you guys have been watching the videos on here, or if you watch the video on my YouTube channel, Notorious Fantasy, I post videos on there every day as well, I talk a lot about one of my favorite wide receivers in fantasy football, Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson goes 3 for 3 like a free throw in this game for 41 receiving yards. While Big Ben is not the quarterback out there, while he's doing it with Dwayne Haskins, as well as with Mason Rudolph, any of those guys that were out there, it doesn't fucking matter because Big Ben loves to throw the ball to Deontay Johnson, and every single argument against Deontay Johnson is that he cannot catch the ball. In preseason thus far, Hall of Fame game in this game, 5-for-5. Hasn't dropped the ball yet. Please stop bringing up the narrative of the guy drops the ball too much. He doesn't anymore. He's figured it out. He's going to be okay. I actually think Deontay Johnson only played with Mason Rudolph, but the point that I was trying to make a little bit earlier was the fact that it doesn't matter who the quarterback is because when Big Ben is under center, the targets are unreal for Deontay Johnson. Please believe on Deontay Johnson, and let's hope that he continues to have a drop-free preseason. Next up for the Steelers, Najee Harris tries to hurdle a guy, which is stupid, but he looks good. 2 carries for 10 yards and a catch for 9 yards. Nothing too special to take away from that, but I don't know why he's trying to hurdle guys in the preseason. Juju Smith-Schuster, 3 for 3 for 22 yards. On the other side of the ball, we see Jalen Hurts look pretty solid, but at the exact same time, not looking the best. I think we need to see more of Jalen Hurts before I am comfortable standing atop of the mountain like a lot of these fantasy analysts are right now, which again, I'm not saying is a bad thing. You can have a different opinion than me. It's okay. I don't care. I like to talk to you guys in the comments. So if you have a different opinion, then we can talk about it. But Jalen Hurts didn't show me enough to where I'm like, damn, I need to draft Jalen Hurts. But he also didn't look like dog shit or something to where I'm like, man, maybe I don't want anything to do with Jalen Hurts. He went 3 of 7 for 54 yards, and he didn't really try to run the ball at all. So I didn't see enough to where I'm like, damn, he's terrible. I didn't see enough to think that he was amazing. I just want to see more of Jalen Hurts. It kind of sucks that he didn't play all that much in the game, but I didn't really expect him to. Miles Sanders does not play in this game, so we cannot see what could potentially be a running back by committee in Philadelphia with all of these Eagles running backs. And Dallas Goedert flashes 1 for 34 on 1 target. I like Dallas Goedert a lot as a talent, but the fact is that Zach Ertz is still going to be there, and that is going to affect the upside of Dallas Goedert. If Zach Ertz is there, is playing football, which it appears he is going to, then that's going to take away from Dallas Goedert's upside. Again, does that mean Dallas Goedert is undraftable? No, but you definitely have to temper your expectations with Zach Ertz there. Next up, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Atlanta Falcons. Not really a single thing of substance occurred in this matchup. This was a certified beatdown by the Tennessee Titans onto the Falcons, but none of the players played. You didn't see Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, you didn't see Julio, you didn't see Ryan Tannehill for the Titans, so nothing really to take away there, aside from Darrington Evans looking good as Henry's backup, but I kind of felt as though we already knew that. 4 for 26 on the ground. The Atlanta Falcons showed nothing. There was no Kyle Pitts. There was no Matt Ryan. There was really nothing in this game that really went out there and told me, hey, you need to think about this at all. So that's really a game that we're to gloss over. Bills versus Lions is another matchup where not really too much happened. Devin Singletary looked very good out there, which was kind of surprising because, I don't think Devin Singletary is very good. But then again, it was up against the Lions. So what does that really show you? 8 for 42 for Singletary. On the Lions side of things, Terrell Williams looked really good and looked to be the best target for the Lions, in my opinion. 2 receptions for 30 yards on 4 targets. Swift out with injury, so we were not able to see that split share with Jamal Williams. How severe can it be? I'm not too sure because DeAndre Swift is out the next couple of weeks with an injury. So maybe we see him at least hopefully once in preseason so we can really iron out what this split share is going to be, because my opinion is that I'm going to believe in Dan Campbell, what he's saying, which is that there's going to be a 1A, 1B scenario in Detroit with the Lions with Swift and Jamal Williams, and that is really going to hurt the upside that a potential DeAndre Swift breakout season could occur, and maybe he just won't be as good. Cowboys versus Cardinals. On the Cowboys side of things, we don't really see too much, but for the Cardinals, I saw something out of Rondale Moore, who was heavily utilized, being used with 2 rushes for 16 yards, as well as 3 catches on 4 targets for 23 receiving yards. Rondale Moore was one of my favorite targets out of college. He seemed like he fell at a very interesting spot for the Arizona Cardinals. The question is, how much usage will he be able to actually get in a game? He's one of those players that can do these jet sweeps, that can play running back, that they just want to get the ball into his hands. You want to screen the ball into Rondale Moore's hands because this guy is an athlete who will make people miss. The question is, how much will this be used in the regular season? I'm not too sure. I'm fine taking a late round flyer on him, and at least we saw him be pretty well utilized during the couple of snaps that he was on the field. James Conner out with COVID, which sucks, because this is another scenario with kind of the Bills, how you want to see Zach Moss, you want to see Singletary. With the Cardinals, how you want to see James Conner, and you want to see, obviously, Chase Edmonds with him. You need to see these running back split shares, and we were not really able to see it in any of these scenarios. Could we see Edmonds really emerge as the starter with Conner out? Yes, but we didn't see too much out of Edmonds, right? He looked okay. 3 rushes for 10 rushing yards and 1 catch for 10 yards. Nothing too surprising there, as we know that Chase Edmonds isn't some elite running back, but that he's okay. So maybe we won't actually see who the clear number 1 running back is here in training camp, in preseason. Maybe during the season is when this will all iron out. I'm still very excited to draft James Conner late, and his COVID does not really affect that. Next up, we got my Miami Dolphins at the Chicago Bears. David Montgomery suffers a minor injury. There are no reports of anything yet. There is no talking about how Montgomery is going to be out any type of games. It was just reported as a minor injury. It was not even out on Roto World. They didn't even fucking report about it. So to me, that either means Roto World is just off its rocker, or that maybe it's just not important at all. For the Bears, we also saw the debut of Justin Fields, who looked great aside from that early fumble where he tried to rush the ball, and, you know, he thought this was fucking NCAA football 14 or something. He thought he was in college. He thought he was like Marshawn Lynch or something. He tries to take on like 3 guys at once, and then he ends up fumbling the ball. Obviously a rookie mistake. He probably realized 4 seconds after that this isn't college football anymore. This is the NFL, and bad things are going to happen if you try to do something crazy like that. He didn't even try to slide. He tried to truck stick these people. Didn't work out well. 5 for 33 on the ground and 1 touchdown rushing plus the fumble, and 14 of 20 for 142 through the air and 1 total touchdowns. Field looked very, very good. Does this mean trouble in paradise for Andy Dalton? Dalton didn't look the best. So, will Justin Fields be the starter week 1? Probably not. But all signs to me are pointing towards Justin Fields potentially being the guy a couple of weeks on into the season. Tua starts off strong but throws an INT within the 20-yard line. 8 of 11 from Tua for 99 yards and 1 INT. Again, he looked really, really good aside from that interception. It was a stupid throw. Tua, you need to throw it away. You need to fucking do an Eli Manning fake sack or something. He didn't do that. He threw it to the end zone. It was stupid. The offensive line, though, for the Dolphins looked very, very good, which is promising to me. Tua looked good enough, though, to where I'm not worried. Tua was also playing without Will Fuller, without Devontae Parker, without Jalen Waddle really playing all that much. So I'm not all that worried about Tua. So I'm still confident in him. Obviously, a bad throw, but on the flip side, it was good because he actually threw the ball. Last year, he probably would have shit himself in the pocket and threw it 3 yards into the ground or something. Tua looked so bad last year, but his confidence is looking really good now. I like that he took the shot. It's a preseason game. It is what it is. Gesicki looks good. 2 for 2 for 56. None of the main wide receivers really played for Miami. Like I said, the biggest news out of this game, besides the Justin Fields, is probably the potential running back by committee in Miami. But I doubt it. I doubt it. Miami beat reporter comes out and says, this is Gaskin's backfield. Even after this is Gaskin's backfield. I believe so. Salvon Ahmed, 6 for 50 rushing. Gaskin, 4 for 19. Malcolm Brown, 9 for 8 receiving. Salvon Ahmed, 2 for 2 for 31 yards and a touchdown. Gaskin, 1 for 2 and 3 yards. Brown, 1 for 1 and 7 yards. Malcolm Brown got so many opportunities to score a touchdown. He was knocking on the door. Knock. Couldn't get in. Could not get in. So does that mean that he's going to get cut or something? No. But He's not clearly the number 2 back there. It's Salvon Ahmed. Gaskin is the clear number 1. I don't think this narrative of a true running back by committee is true. Now, I know you might think, but Nick, you just talked about earlier how Antonio Gibson is in a running back by committee. How is Gaskin not? We just saw it. Because the reports out of the beat reporters are that Gaskin's the guy. I watch the Dolphins. They're my favorite fucking team. I watch all this training camp stuff. Gaskin is the clear number 1 running back there. Could a committee emerge? Maybe, but I honestly do not think so. I'm still very excited to get Myles Gaskin in the 4th or 5th round of drafts. If you guys have ended up enjoying this video, we're about halfway through. Please make sure that you do hit that subscribe button down below. Not only is it free, we put out this content every single day. Make sure you hit that like button down below as well. Broncos at Vikings. Nothing to see at all for the Vikings. They sucked. That was embarrassing. The Vikings were terrible. Locke, my boy, horse, cock, Drew Lock to be the starter. He's looking to be the starter. I think he will be the starter. 5 of 7, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 tugs for Locke, including a long bomb to KJ Hamler for 80 yards. He went 2 for 2 for 105 yards and 1 touchdown. Teddy Roosevelt, Teddy 2 gloves. Teddy Bridgewater plays well, though. 7 of 8 for 74 yards and a touchdown. So Locke isn't clearly far away. Like, he's not by far and away the starter, but I think he will be the starter. Again, Bridgewater did look well, though. Javonte Williams really stole the show. 5 for 29 and a callback touchdown. But, remember, Melvin Gordon was not playing. He was not in that game. Remember, Melvin Gordon is on the last year of his contract. Remember that if Melvin Gordon is on the last year of his contract and you're a smart head coach, you would run him into the ground, run him into the dirt, and then roll Williams out next year. Williams looked good. He looked good. This is probably going to be a 50-50 split potentially between the two. I like Williams, but without Melvin Gordon fucking tripping in the shower or something, knock on wood, we don't root for injuries, then I don't know how Javonte Williams is going to take over this backfield. Jerry Jeudy, 1 of 3 for 33. Not the best, but there was some tight coverage on him. He should have scored a touchdown, but the coverage was very tight in that game. Saints at Ravens. Biggest takeaway was Jameis versus Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, 8 for 12 for 81 yards and 1 INT. Famous Jameis Winston, 7 of 12 for 96 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 INT. Marquez Callaway was the standout wide receiver for the Saints, going 3 of 4 for 61 receiving yards. To me, Jameis versus Taysom Hill should not even be an argument, but it's something that needs to be talked about. It is an argument because Taysom Hill is still there. That's why the argument is there. If Jameis is the guy, which he should be, Jameis was the better quarterback in training camp, better quarterback, I guess not even necessarily from training camp because Hill looked good as well, so did Jameis, but the better quarterback in this game, in real games, Jameis should be the guy, and I believe he will be. Just something to monitor as preseason goes along. Browns at Jaguars, we see Trevor Lawrence's debut was 6 for 9. Very nice. 6 of 9 for 71 yards. Laviska Shenault, 2 of 3 for 14 yards. Marvin Jones, 3 of 4 for 52 yards. Wow. Would you look at that? Marvin Jones, the favorite target in the game. Wow. It's almost like I said that could happen. Very surprising. Very surprising. Not really. But DJ Chark didn't play, so how much can you gauge from that? I'm not too sure. Running backs, James Robinson, 3 for 13. Travis Etienne, 1 for 2. Not surprising. Robinson, better rusher, I would say, than Etienne. Etienne, better pass catcher. Probably going to be very confusing backfield this season. Nothing of substance from the Cleveland Browns. Bengals at Buccaneers. No Joe Burrow in this game, obviously. Tom Brady plays like 5 plays. Who cares? Jamar Chase gets 1 reception on 1 target for 16 yards. Next. Like, there was nothing to talk about from this game. Jets at Giants. Zach Wilson debut. 6 of 9. Nice. Did they both go 6 of 9? That's actually hilarious. Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, very nice, with 6 of 9 for 63 yards. Running backs for the Jets. Ty Johnson, 9 for 33 yards. Also 2 catches for 7 yards. LaMichael P. Ryan, 12 for 30 yards. Michael Carter, 7 for 22. Also 1 catch for 9 yards. Who's going to be the lead back here? Probably not Michael Carter to start the season, but based on what we saw, I'm still confident in predicting that Michael Carter will eventually become the guy. Zach Wilson, like I said, 6 for 9 for 63 yards. Looks all right. Nothing super special, but looked pretty solid. And I think that if you were looking to draft him in fantasy, It's like one of the later round pick, like probably your last pick of the draft. So go ahead and do it. The upside's there. He probably will be a fine quarterback for the Jets this season. Nothing for the Giants because Daniel Jones didn't play. Saquon obviously not playing either. Texans, the same with Kenny Galladay. Texans at Packers. Jordan Love looks good. 12 of 17 for 122 yards and 1 touchdown. Not important, though. Not important because Aaron Rodgers is the guy. Lindsey sees more touches than David Johnson. Probably going to be a running back by committee there. In Houston, Anthony Miller carted off the field, which sucks. That really sucks. I feel bad for Anthony Miller. Didn't show much in Chicago. Gets a change of scenery. Shows nothing. Don't know anything still with the Texans about Deshaun Watson. And I don't think we can ever really accurately predict anything until something comes out because there's no real way to predict this. 49ers at Chiefs. Trey Lance debut. 5 of 14 for 128 and 1 touchdown. Didn't rush at all, which I guess makes sense in preseason. Why you're going to go ahead and fucking run the ball and try to damage your body or something. Maybe Shanahan told him not to run the ball. I don't know. Like, it looks good on paper, right? 5 of 14. He had that long touchdown throw. Not really a long throw, but he dumped it off. Not really a dump off, but a couple-yard throw. The guy takes it to the house. Great for Trey Lance, right? Looks good. To me, he looked better than Jimmy Garoppolo. 3 for 3, though, for 26 yards. Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to get pushed out of there? Probably not. Shanahan comes on today and says that Jimmy Garoppolo is the starter. What does that mean? Kyle Shanahan kind of capping. If you don't know what capping means, it means he is kind of a liar. Maybe he's lying straight to our face, but can I accurately predict that Lance is going to be the starter? No. Probably take a couple of weeks. No. What is that from? That's like one of those fucking ads that play during the NFL season, and it just cuts the guy. He's like, no, really loud, if you know what I'm talking about. That's kind of funny, but it has nothing to do with anything. I don't know how we can predict this quarterback play. I would lean personally that Jimmy Garoppolo plays the first couple of games, and if things go poorly, then Trey Lance ends up starting Seahawks at the Raiders. Nathan Peterman plays the whole game. That's hilarious. Nothing else from that game. Chargers at Rams. We see a battle for the backup running back in LA for the Rams behind Darrell Henderson. Xavier Jones, 7 for 21 yards, 2 of 3 receiving for 6 yards. Jake Funk, Uptown Funk you up, 5 for 12 yards. 1 of 1 for -5 receiving yards. Bryce Perkins, 4 for 23. Raymond Calise, 7 of 14. I think Xavier Jones is going to be the guy, but that didn't really tell me too much, if I'm being honest with you. So thank you guys all so much for watching this video. Let me know your biggest takeaways from week number 1. I would love to discuss it in the comment section. I hope you guys did end up enjoying it. If you did, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. I love each and every single one of you motherfuckers, and I'll see you beautiful bastards tomorrow with another banger of a video. Thank you guys for watching all of these videos. I deeply appreciate it. Have a great rest of your guys' day. Awesemo.com.